how this began was White challenged her teacher in terms of why did we come to school when everything I need to know I can Google. As it turns out, teacher was a little miffed, and White challenged to say, well, how tough could it be to teach? And the teacher offered up, well, I'm going to let you teach next week, thinking that this would ego this little girl down. Not a chance. She said, okay. And we had a couple of posts regarding what she wanted to do, and very profound stuff in terms of listening to classical music and whatnot at low levels, and finding out what the kids want to learn and going outside. And I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to find the excerpt and I will read it at some point. I have read it already, but very profound stuff, if you recall. And the answer to this rebellion from this 7-year-old was, okay, well, telling her to teach for a week didn't scare her, so let's expel her for 2, because she wouldn't answer to her name, and because she knows who she is. So lo and behold, the following Friday, this would be Friday past, White's classmates, now remember, White's expelled at this point, White's classmates refused to answer to their names, which puts the system, remember, this is anagogic. These things are happening at an exponential level now, so that what you might deem to be little effects or little causes are actually huge, and you're starting to see the layers of the system and power just getting stripped away here. So what happened then was, of course, the teacher panics, and the headmistress decides she's going to have a meeting on the following Monday. So here's what we got. Or actually, the weekend before that, White was on her way to a birthday party. She was supposed to get picked up by her mom, and lo and behold, her was a little bit late. That's Wayne's ex, to pick her up, and on her way to the party, she ended up getting pulled over for speeding. White obviously must have asked for identification, and White leans over and says, "No names here, mate." To which the cop replied, "Excuse me?" And she, using her most literal Phoenician, because she understands this, she says, "Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate." To which the cop closed up his Narmer Palette book and walked away. That's the power of a child, and the power of intent, and the magic of the shields that go up when you stand in truth. This is very real stuff, boys and girls. To explain it to you, well, see, until you experience it, you're still in Pisces of, well, I'm not sure I believe that. Well, here's the difference. I'm in Aquarius. I know it. And those that are now in Aquarius because they've stopped believing this or believing that and taking things subjectively, they're being objective now, and that's what makes an Aquarian. So let's continue the story here in Wayne's words. Of course, Mom was a bit shaken up and called Wayne to set up a little chit-chat after she dropped White off. So here was where we pick up the story. And this is only the last week and a half, 2 weeks, guys. Right up to today, we're going to read what happened. Wayne got word from one of White's friend's dads that was at the meeting that he wasn't allowed to be in. So here we go. All good with White's mom. She just got a bit frightened of what she saw her little girl do. We had a good old talk, and she's starting to get it. She said if she didn't see it for herself, she wouldn't have believed it, what White did today. She phoned me and said that she's been up all night reading all your stuff, referring to my website. And now she is getting it and was crying, saying, now I know I've got to stand, not just for my kids, but for all of the children, because what kind of mom would I be if I don't stand knowing what I know now? So she's got it. It's all good. So big thanks to you, Kat. Thank you. Again, everything on the website, I can call it my website, it's yours. Is yours. If you understand the concepts, who can make a claim on the words? If you would say it the same way, aren't they your words? So carrying on here, this is regarding after the Friday when the kids refused to answer to their names. This is on the Monday. So I got to the school and they all had gone into the meeting, so when we tried to go in, they wouldn't let us. So the headmistress came out and said, I did not ask you to come to this meeting. So I said, if you're having a meeting about the kids and if you're going to be talking about my child, I'm going to be there. So she said, you're making a scene. If you don't go, I will phone the police. And this is Wayne talking. So I said, I'll phone for you, if you want. So she phoned the police, and about 10 minutes later, they turn up, and just a coincidence, it was the policeman that pulled over White's mom. See? Magic, kingdom. And he's only a sergeant. And the look on his face was like, oh, shit. So long story short, the sergeant said to the headmistress, are you going to be talking about his daughter? And the headmistress said, no, it's about the other children, not his child. So I said, this is about the kids not answering to the name. So yes, you will be talking about her. So the sergeant said to the head, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave an officer here, and if you refer to his daughter in any way, my officer will be under orders to arrest you. Then the headmistress said to him, you can't do that. So he said, well, you go and say his daughter's name in your meeting, and you will see what I can do. Now go and have your meeting because the kids are looking out of the windows and now you're making a scene. So she went into the meeting and she was not happy. Go figure. And a police officer went in with her. Then the sergeant said, "Can I give you a ride home?" I said, "No, thanks. We're good." And he said to me, "You do know that if the kids do not answer to the name, then they have to be sent. They have to send the child home because then they have no rights to keep the children in the school without the name." Then he looked at White, gave her a smile, and got in his car. Went home. And one of White's dad's friends phoned me and asked me what was going on. So he was in the meeting at this time. Remember this. So I told him. So he went up to the officer that was in the meeting and said to him, "Are you going to arrest her if she says White's name?" And he said, "Yes, I will." So just waiting to see what got said in the meeting. I'll let you know as soon as I do. And the saga of the White Tiger continues. So here's the outcome. White's friend's dad just called in on his way to work and told me what got said in the meeting. He said the headmistress would not say White's name, and he tried to get her to say it, but he tried to get her to say it, but she would not say it. She was just saying that the kids were just trying to get sent home from school, like they knew this, and we need them to answer their name so we know that they are here. Have a look around the room, and do you not know the kids in your class by now? Ooh, that's scary. And no one was, to make sure that no one was taking them away. Of course, the system loves to go right to fear porn. And of course, they'll appeal to your lack of comfort ego as well. And if we have to send them home for a week or two, you will just have to take the time off work to look after them. More fear porn. So he said to her, "There is more to this, and we will be looking into it. And why can't you say White's name?" So she said it's just a legal thing. Yeah, BS beside that, absolutely, Wayne. So, and if we have to send them home for a week or two, you'll just have to take the time off work to look after them. Fear porn. So he said to her, "There's more to this, and we're looking into it. And why can't you say White's name?" So she said it's just a legal thing, a.k.a. I'll get my ass arrested if I do. And so he said to the officer, who he knows, now this guy knows this officer very well, because he lives on a street, something about why she's saying White's name. Wayne, slow down when you're typing. Anyway, so the officer says this to him. "All I know is that it is illegal to try and get someone to answer to a name that they have said is not them. That's why she can't say White's name." And then the head said, "Right, this meeting is over. I'll send you all a letter out because I've got another meeting to go to and I'm running late." Yeah, right. How about running scared? So can you all have a talk to your children when they get home? He said she could get us out of there fast enough. He said he could not come around sooner, which means he was trying to get a hold of Wayne sooner, but he couldn't. He's on nights, and then he'll be looking at Kate's stuff. That's all he told me. XOXO.